Come on, Pastor. Hear the words from the book of Genesis, chapter 32. I will begin reading at verse 22. I'm reading from the King James Version. And he rose up that night and took his 2 wives and his 2 women servants and his 11 sons and passed over the ford Jabbok. And he took them and sent them over the brook and sent them over that he had. And Jacob was left alone. And there wrestled a man with him until the breaking of the day. And when he saw that he prevailed not against him, he touched the hollow of his thigh. And the hollow of Jacob's thigh was out of joint, and he wrestled with him. And he said, let me go, for the day breaketh. And he said, I will not let thee go, except thou bless me. And he said unto him, what is thy name? And he said, Jacob. And he said, thy name shall be called no more Jacob, but Israel. For as a prince thou hast power with God and with men, and hast prevailed. Jacob asked him and said, tell me, I pray thee, thy name. And he said, wherefore is it that thou dost ask after my name? And he blessed him there. And Jacob called the name of the place Peniel, for I have seen God face to face, and my life is preserved. And he passed over Peniel, and the sun rose upon him, and he halted upon his thigh. Therefore the children of Israel eat not of the feeling which shrank, which is upon the hollow of the thigh unto this day, because he touched the hollow of Jacob's thigh, and the sinew that he shrank. Amen. Amen. Just a little talk with Jesus makes it right. Just a little talk with Jesus makes it right. Let us pray. Come, Holy Spirit, speak to us and through us. Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, my strength and my Redeemer. Amen. Amen. If we are continuing to be directed to look at prayer, we will continue in our messages each week regarding prayer until the Lord says so. Come on now. In our text today, Bible study students will know that this is the second spiritual encounter in Jacob's life. So the first one took place at a place called Bethel. That's right. At Bethel, Jacob saw a ladder. At Jabbok, he saw Lord. At Bethel, Jacob became a believing man. At Jabbok, he became a broken man. At Bethel, Jacob became the son of God. At Jabbok, he became a saint of God. At Bethel, he died to his sins. At Jabbok, he died to himself. He left Bethel with a spring in his step. He left Jabbok with a lasting living, but with a forever changed heart. Amen. Brothers and sisters, I would submit to you this morning that we all need a Bethel experience. Every person in this room needs to be able to recall the time when you met God personally. You received him and became his child, and isn't salvation wonderful? However, many never get beyond that point. They get saved, and that's as far as they go. They never seem to be able to produce anything for the glory of the Lord. While we must have a Bethel experience, we also need a Jabbok experience. If we ever hope to be useful to the Lord, the very thing that happened to Jacob needs to happen in the life of every believer. Every believer in this room. He spent the night talking with the Lord. And he was never the same. And I would venture to say that 99% of all Christians need to have a little talk with Jesus. Let us spend some time this morning looking at these verses and see what transpired during Jacob's talk with the Lord. First of all, I want to point out to you that Jacob was very much alone. Jacob was facing a serious time of testing. He had left his home and he was about to face a brother he had tricked many years ago and stolen his birthright. At this juncture in his life, he needs to seek counsel from the Lord. The fact that Jacob spent the night in prayer is told to us by the prophet Hosea in that 12th chapter. And as he entered this time of prayer, Jacob found himself very much alone. All he had was gone. Family, servants, livestock, well, everything. Jacob was forced to face God all by himself. Many people fear this kind of loneliness. People structure their time to be as full as possible. The reason, when we are alone and unoccupied, then we have to come face to face with ourselves and face to face with God. Judas, when faced with what he had done and face to face with God, the scripture says, threw himself asunder. We fear this kind of intimacy with the Lord. And yet, the very thing we fear is the very thing we need most in our lives. When we are busy, we can occupy our hearts and minds. When we're alone and still, it is easier for us to hear the Lord when he is speaking. Some folk tend to fill their lives with busy work so that they can avoid the voice of God. If we Christians are going to be strong in the Lord, then we must find time to be alone with God. The value of a daily quiet time is clearly demonstrated in the life of the Lord Jesus Christ. He took time to be alone with the Father. Matthew tells us that, and Luke as well. And you and I should never fear of being alone with the Lord, for he only has good planned for us. It tells us in Jeremiah, for I know the thoughts that I think toward you, says the Lord, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you an expected end. Yes, Jacob was very much alone, but he was also very much alive. As Jacob prayed that night, it appeared he had experienced a theophany. That is, he was privileged to be in the place where the Lord decided to manifest himself in a personal manner. A theophany is a pre-Bethlehem appearance of the Lord Jesus. And the angel was unable to overcome Jacob. Of course, we know that God could whip Jacob with just a thought in his mind. But he allowed Jacob to fight and bring Jacob to the place where he was willing to see himself as he truly is. At this point in time, Jacob represents the fleshly nature of man. He represents our old sinful nature that's constantly fighting against the Lord. These natures that we were born with are stubborn, unyielding, fighting, and self-sufficient. The old nature is everything that the saint of God should not be. What are you talking about, brother? I'm talking about that daily fight, that daily battle, that daily struggle that you have with the Lord. In fact, many of us are just like Jacob. We fight the Lord at every time in our lives. God will tell us something is wrong, and the old nature rebels against the Lord's truth. God will tell us something is right, where we think it should be. We are called upon, brothers and sisters, to reckon the old man dead. However, you know what we do? We like to drag around that corpse. Don't we? We drag that corpse with us everywhere that we go. Talking about we new creatures, hanging on to the same old dead body. The Roman practice in ancient times was when a person was convicted of murder, was to take the murderer into the desert, stake him down, and then lay the corpse of the victim on top of it. And just as the corruption from the corpse would fail and fall upon the guilty man until he eventually died, so our old nature eats away at us, bringing death, destruction, and corruption at every turn. The old human nature is fit for nothing less than the fires of hell. It does not deserve to live. But I join with Paul who says, "Oh, wretched man that I am, who shall deliver me from the body of death? I thank God through Jesus Christ our Lord. So then with my mind I serve the law, but with my flesh the law of sin." Amen. I challenge you today to ask yourself, who is alive? Myself, that old man, or the Lord Jesus? Do you constantly find yourself fighting against the Lord? Do you find yourself acting stubbornly when faced with God's plan for your life? Amen. Who is alive in you? The flesh or the Lord? Look again at Galatians. Paul says, "I have been crucified with Christ. I no longer live, but Christ lives in me. And the life I now live in the body, I live by the faith of the Son of God, who loved me, gave himself for me." Jacob was very much alone. He was very much alive. Thirdly, he was very much altered. This one night in the life of Jacob was the culmination of 20 years of patient activity by the Lord. You see, we want instant everything today. Instant coffee, instant tea, instant grits, instant gratification. We want instant everything. Recently, Brother TV gave me 2 options. I could set it up so that when I turn my TV on, it would warm up, and then the picture would display. The other option was I could turn it on and it would instantly light up. It would burn more electricity, take a little bit more time to do that. And that was my option. Which one did I choose? I go home now, click, it's on. We want instant everything. We want everything to happen when we say so, and the moment that we say it. We're like children going on a trip. We want to know if we're there yet before we leave the driveway. Yet there is one thing for sure. Instant holiness is not available to anyone. It is always a result of prayer, sacrifice, and self-denial. It seems that God always takes his time in bringing us to spiritual maturity. He gently and patiently leads us along and brings us to the place where we can be filled and used for his glory. This is the event that happened in the life of Jacob. Consider that he was a broken man. Notice that he was clean. Jacob no longer fighting with this angel. He's merely holding on. You see, if we insist on fighting the and his attempt at growing us, he will eventually bring us to the place where all our fight is gone, and we can fight no more. Ask anyone who's worked a farm and the breaking of a horse. Oh, that horse is powerful and strong. And if you get on it, it'll throw you. That's right. Yeah. But if you work with it patiently over time, sooner or later you'll break the spirit of that horse. Not the strength. The strength will still be there. And so God works with us. We're not where we ought to be. We rebel and we reject and we buck like a horse. But God is patient. He works with us. Works with us. He's trying to get to the place in our lives where we say, I yield, I cannot go on. Then we become useful to the Lord. Then God can do something with us. See, God knows exactly where and how to touch our lives to get our attention. And God, brothers and sisters, desires for your life and mine is that we come to the place where we stop walking in our own power, in our own self-sufficiency, and we come to the place where we are dependent upon Him for everything. He wants us to understand the truth of John 15:5, where He says, I am the vine, you are the branch. If you remain in me and I in you, you will bear much fruit. Apart from me, you can do nothing. Amen. Pride Jacob holding on and also confessing. The angel demands to know Jacob's name. He forces him to admit who he is. His name is Jacob. I want you to know his name means trickster. His name means supplanter. His name means cheat. His name means one who takes you by the heel. In our term, it means the one who twists your arm. Jacob had to come to the place of seeing himself as he really was before the Lord. And only then could the Lord use him. By the way, God can't use any of us until we admit to Him the truth about ourselves. God can't use us until we come to the place where we're willing to admit that we are failures and sinners before Him, and that we are incapable of anything good without Him. 1 John chapter 1, verse 9 says, God will bless the honest heart. The psalmist said the sacrifices of God are a broken spirit, a broken and contrite heart, oh God, thou will not despise. But not only was he holding on and confessing, but as a result he became a blessed man. The Jacob who left Canaan was capable of deceiving his brother, lying to his blind father, of cheating his crooked uncle. But the man who returns is a man with a new nature. No more Jacob the trickster, but Israel the prince of God. Brothers and sisters, God's purpose in breaking us is always the same. He does it so He can make us again. You remember the story of the potter in Jeremiah. The scripture says, but the pot he was shaping from clay was marred in his hands. So the potter formed it into another pot, shaping it as it seemed best to him. You see, God doesn't throw us away, but He shapes us and molds us until we fit the image He desires for us. God is still working right now on us. Some of us sitting here today may feel like you come up the road a ways. I need you to understand you're still at work in progress. God is not through with you yet. Some of us sitting here today may feel a sense of unworthiness. We just don't seem to measure up. I need to tell you that you too are still a work in progress. calls himself to be, but I want you to know that you're still a work in progress. God is not finished. Yes, you may stumble, and yes, you may falter, and sometimes you'll fall, and sometimes you'll mess up, but remember, God is still working on you. Still shaping you and making you that when God gets through with you, when he gets through shaping you, when he fixes all your stumbling and bumbling, when he straightens out all your crookedness, when he fixes your backsliding and out your problems and your trouble, then I need you to understand that when God gets through with you, you shall come forth like the Lord. Not only was he a blessed man, but he was a branded man. You remember what happened? He wrestled with the angels all night long and would not let go. And challenged the angel. He said, I'm going to hold on until you bless me. The scripture says the angel touched his hip, and his hip went out of joint. And he was never the same again. Everywhere he went after that day, he carried the mark of God upon his body. Every step he took reminded him and everyone around him that he was the Lord's, and the Lord had touched him in a real and personal way. Church, the believer is no different. We ought to be branded for Jesus. Folk ought not to have to wonder whether we saved or not. Folk need not wonder whether we Christian or not. When you've been with the Lord, and when God puts his brand on you, folk will see it wherever you go. We are living in a different age, aren't we? We got a president who brands everything. He puts his name on his towers. He puts his names on the golf course. He'd like to put his name on the White House. He puts his name everywhere. But his brand is corrupted. And his brand is not fit. But when you've been branded by the Lord, when God puts his brand on you, I'm not saying you're going to be perfect when God puts his brand on you. I'm not saying that you're going to always be right, honest, truthful, and all of the attributes that we give to good folk. I am saying that when God marks you, can't nobody unmark you. When God puts his brand on you, recently read an article about a young lady who got caught up in slavery with trafficking of young women. Where she was staying, the man made it his plan to brand the women he captured. And she was a part of that cult. And they branded her. She said it was the most painful thing in her life. Branding can be painful. Let's talk about Reverend. As a believer, even believers, the branding can be painful. Because it may make you leave some folk you used to hang out with. The branding can be painful. It'll make you change your attitude and the way you walk and talk. Branding can be very painful. Because sometimes it separates you from the very people that you've been so very fond of. But when God brands you, it's going to be all right. And folk who leave you because you've been marked with the blood of the Lamb, you probably didn't need them in your life in the first place. And if you needed them, don't you worry about it, because God has a way of working those things out. And the folks who always be out of step with the world. Jacob's life was one of contrast. Before the incident, faulty, stubborn, living his life like he thought it should be. He decided for himself to trick his brother. He decided to take his brother's birthright. He decided for himself he had better run away because Esau was a powerful man and Jacob wasn't ready to fight that battle. He determined for himself that he would go to his folks' people in another town. There he met his uncle. He determined for himself that he would work for his uncle for 7 years to acquire whom he thought was to be the love of his life. His uncle showed him that I can play a trick too. Gave him Leah when he wanted Rachel. But he said to his uncle, I'll work another 7 years if you can let me have Rachel. Every time I read that, I think, my. That man worked 14 years to get one woman. Some brothers can't wait one day. But after this evening, after this night, holiness and spirituality marked Jacob's life. If we were perfectly honest this morning, what would we best say describes our lives? Are we carnal? Or are we spiritual? I tell you in just a little talk with Jesus, we'll make it right. Let this be our place for Mount Peniel experience. Let this be the day when we come before the Lord and allow ourselves to be broken by Him for service. Let this be the time when we are forever altered. Let this be the time when we become fully and finally aware and present ourselves before God. You see, just a little talk with Jesus has transformative powers. It can reshape and remake our lives. Songwriter said, sometimes my path seems clear without a ray of tears. And then a cloud of doubt may hide the light of day. The mist of sin may rise and hide the starry skies. But just a little talk with Jesus clears the way. I may have doubts and fears, my eyes be filled with tears. But Jesus is a friend who watches day and night. I go to Him in prayer. He knows my every care. And just a little talk with Jesus makes it right. Church, let us have a little talk with Jesus. Tell Him all about our trouble. He'll hear our famous cry. He'll answer. He'll feel a little prayer, he'll turn. And he'll blow a little fire burn. Just a little talk with Jesus makes it right. Oh, brothers and sisters, sometimes Christians need to be reminded that you got to talk to Jesus. No, I'm not talking about telling you what you want, how much you want, when you want it, how you're going to give it to you, how much you need it. I'm not talking about that. That's not having a talk with Jesus. That's just laying out some demands for Him. What I'm talking about is getting on your knees, getting in some quiet space, some quiet time, and just having a talk. Not because you want something, but because you want to be something. Not because you need something, but because you want to give something. And a talk with Jesus will give you the power to do the things that God desires you to do. Somebody this morning, not where you ought to be, not even where you want to be. You're not going to confess it here today, but I want you to know that you need to have a talk with Jesus. Somebody sitting here today has been struggling and What really troubles me, two things that serve the Christian best are the things we do the less. We don't pray. Oh, we say grace. Thank you for this food. He nourished my body. I was going to say like my grandfather used to say, good bread, good meat, good gosh, let's eat. We get caught up with that kind of prayer. At night we get down on our knees, some of us still do. Most of us don't. We lay in the bed and say, God understands. He does. We say our prayer, our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. We don't even realize what we say. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done. I'm talking about that conversation. I'm not talking about that. Now I lay me down to sleep, I pray the Lord my soul keep conversation. I'm talking about a real conversation. You know something? I said this, I think last week, when you love somebody, you want to talk with them. Amen. When you love somebody, especially in the beginning, oh my goodness. You can't have enough conversation. Amen. Some of y'all still remember. On the phone half the night. It's getting late. You need to go to sleep. I know. And then you keep on talking. Because you just can't get enough of a conversation with that person. Not only do you want to talk to him, you want to see him. Don't you? Remember, don't you? He walked through the door, and your heart goes pit-a-pat. She goes strolling down the street, and you just skip a beat. You remember. Because you couldn't get enough of that person. You're consumed with being with that person, being around that person, loving that person, letting that person love you back. You couldn't get enough of it. But when it comes to our relationship with the Lord, for some reason we think now I lay me down to sleep is sufficient. And then we wonder why we have no power, we have no strength, I can't get it together, my life ain't what it ought to be, things aren't going right, and I go to church every Sunday, but you don't talk to the Lord. But I pay my tithe, but you don't talk to the Lord. But I serve on the choir, but you don't talk to the Lord. A talk with Jesus is transforming. A talk with Jesus will change the way you think, change the way you walk, change the way you talk, change the way you act, change the way you walk. Jesus makes it right, and so today, I want to challenge you to have a talk with Jesus, to begin having a real conversation with him. And listen, part of the way you get an answer from the Lord is the second thing that I think believers don't do. You get it from the Word. You can't know the Word if you don't read the Word. If you don't study the Word, you can't grow in the Word. Talking to someone on the phone was having a difficult time. In the midst of the conversation, I said, you know, we're talking about that in Bible study. You ought to come to Bible study. He said, I'll try. If we knew the value, if we understood the power, we'd have no problem having that conversation or picking up that word. If I told you today that in this book here, if you find it, it's the winning to the Mega Millions. In this book, on a certain page, in a certain sentence, is the Powerball number. Are you going to read?
Yes.
Are you going to search the scripture? see, what happens is, when we get honest about it, when we get face to face with God, the mask comes off. And wherein we can tell each other how much we love the Lord. God says, how come you never talk to me? How come you never call me? Come see about me. Huh? You wouldn't take that in your relationship with that man, that woman, would you? You wouldn't take that in your relationship with your children. I bet you, if Elaine don't call Ida for a month, Elaine is in trouble. And Ida gonna let her know, she's gonna let me know. And yet we feel we can do the Lord that way. Because you know, he understands. He does, that's the point. He does understand. And he knows when you're being superficial in your relationship with him. He knows whether it's genuine or not. He understands better than you understand. So before you leave here today, I want to challenge you to have a little talk with Jesus. He takes those blinders off and you begin to see. Then you begin to grow and become what he wants you to be. God bless you today. But just a little talk with Jesus.